A soft-on-crime judge is trying to manipulate us into not criticizing her for being a soft-on-crime judge. Not the best strategy. Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show, presented by None Better Tax Resolution. King County Superior Court Judge Johanna Bender is lashing out at the media for daring to criticize her reckless decisions. And it comes after she offered sympathy, not to the victim's grieving family, but to the family of accused murderer Keyshawn Jimerson. Police say he attacked a 65-year-old military vet from behind and then stabbed him to death with a kitchen knife. The original altercation was caught on surveillance video. Jimerson claimed self-defense. Judge Michelle Gellerson had this case first and reduced bail during a first appearance from $2 million, the request, to just $50,000, which the kid's family posted, and he was out. Prosecutors then filed second-degree murder charges and again asked for $2 million. But a second judge, Johanna Bender, still said, nah, but then at least brought it up to $500,000. But it was during this hearing when the judge decided to try to manipulate all of us into offering less criticism. And she did it while showing empathy for the mom of the suspect instead of the family of the victim.
It isn't about me, but I will share with you that I often get death threats based on the decisions that I make, which is equally frustrating to me because I'm trying to do my job, and it should not be the responsibility of any member of the public to threaten my life because I am trying to uphold the law. So I am very empathetic to the situation that the family finds themselves in, having experienced it myself. And I understand personally how very frightening and disrupting it is, all the more so when you were also navigating this incredibly traumatic time in your family. I'm just doing my job. You're dealing with a crisis. That's a huge difference, and one for which I am very empathetic.
That was next-level gaslighting. It's obviously inappropriate and illegal to send death threats to a judge for her poor decisions. But the irony is that those accused of far worse crimes often receive the very same sympathy that Judge Bender is now trying to get from the public when they stand in her courtroom. And then, of course, the media gets scolded.
I will also take this opportunity to editorialize that I hope that the press continues to take seriously their obligation to tell the stories of what happens in our courtroom in a fair and unbiased way, and takes every reasonable editorial action to not stir up public sentiment for revenge.
What absolute audacity. Bender isn't just doing her job, she's actively failing at it. And by framing the criticism as a reaction to public outrage, she's trying to manipulate the media into giving her a free pass. We should do no such thing. If anything, she hasn't been criticized enough for her long history of treating suspects like they're the actual victims. You see, after a man was accused in a shooting of a 65-year-old grandmother, shot 3 times in front of her 10-year-old granddaughter at an ATM in Covington, Bender set the suspect's bail at just $50,000. Months earlier, she lowered the bail from $1 million to $20,000 for an accused white supremacist allegedly involved in dumping the bodies of 2 murder victims. And Bender went easy on 18-year-old Chase Jones, who was accused of crashing into and killing an adult and 3 kids after allegedly driving 112 miles per hour through a red light. That kid was previously involved in 3 serious crashes within the previous year. And yet, despite claiming a serious concern over the behavior, Bender reduced his bail from $1 million to $100,000 and electronic home monitoring. Now, I can go on and on and on. So, no, Judge Johanna Bender, you're not doing your job. You see, when sending the folks to jail for some sort of bail amount, whatever it is, judges are given a whole lot of discretion. And they're supposed to factor the criminal history, severity of the charges, and the risk that individual poses to the community. And yet Judge Bender routinely demonstrates a complete lack of appreciation for all 3. Journalists should ignore her transparent attempt to use these alleged threats to avoid getting called out by the media. She consistently overlooks the threat posed by the very suspect that she coddles. Johanna Bender deserves more scrutiny, not less. I sat down with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Tell me a little bit about the Fresh Start program, because again, based on how it's promoted, it seems really, really simple.
This Fresh Start program and that phrase has been around for many, many, many years now. But it's a great marketing tool to say, hey, fresh start. And in a way, for those that qualify, it is. What it essentially is an offer in compromise. And to get that, there's two main criteria a person must qualify for. One, they must have limited or no equity in assets. So generally, anyone in the Puget Sound region that owns a home and has for several years, they're going to have a lot of equity. They won't qualify. And the other is an income level. And that all depends upon your family size about how much income that could be. But both of those standards need to be met to qualify. Most people do not.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn of Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN, Nunn Better Tax Resolution. If you like that commentary, make sure you subscribe to the podcast of The Jason Rantz Show. Get it at KTTH.com or wherever it is you download your podcasts.